people are yellow. Who has yellow? Lots of yellow, lots of orange. Look around the room. If you're not sitting with somebody else who has yellow already, then that's something you'll want to change maybe as the day goes on. Some of you, how many of you have more than one color? If you have two colors, raise your hand. Two colors. Okay, if you have three colors, raise your hand and your foot. Yeah. So some of you are teaching all the grades. People who are teaching all of the grades, in particular, I think you might want to get together. One of your challenges is going to be identifying activities that will scale well and that you can use with lots of different ages. Okay. All right. Questions so far? So, we're going to be taking a break at what time? We were supposed to go 2 o'clock? Okay. We're going to get partway through our things. During the 2 o'clock break, we're going to be giving you supplies to build your notebook. So one of your jobs during the break will be to build a notebook. And this notebook is really important because this becomes your camp Bible. This is your toolkit, right? So throughout the day, today and tomorrow, you're going to be receiving handouts, ideas, papers. We're going to do some projects. Everything can go in here, and then this becomes your camp Bible. This is your guiding light for your camp toolkit, for your book. Okay, so this becomes your guide. This helps you decide what to put into your notebook, because everything that goes in here is then what you will use in the camp for these campers, for these students. Does that make sense? Sure. Okay. I see a lot of you today already taking pictures. You're welcome to take pictures anytime you want. I think we can take pictures of PowerPoint slides, the projects. I also want to thank the embassy, Aliona in particular. She made a lot of handouts for us. These come from books or resources on the web that are freely available, or the copyright permission allows them to be reproduced. The original versions, excuse me, of these books are over here. So I'm going to give you, thanks to Aliona, a few of the handouts from this really giant book. Okay? If you like these handouts and you think, gosh, I wish I could have more of those, you're welcome during the breaks, during lunch. If you want to take them home for the night, if you promise to bring them back and sign them out, you can take them home. You could take pictures of things in here if you want to look for more activities. During the day today and tomorrow, I'll be giving you some free time or open time to come and explore these resources further and to gather up additional ideas for your notebooks. Okay, so this one, for example, is 201 icebreakers, games, warm-ups, right? This one is activities with lots of, you can see lots of fun things to do on them, lots of ideas that you can reproduce. Assessments, if you're thinking about assessment, but in the loosest possible terms. Here we have the big book of team motivating games. It's actually not very big, but it has lots of things in it. That's the big part. We have 100 games and activities for the introductory foreign language classroom. English is a foreign language here in Ukraine. I was really happy to hear Luba's context this morning talking about English as a lingua franca, and very excited to see that there'll be volunteers in the camp who are using other Englishes. So I speak one kind of English, American English. That's just one. It's not the best one. It's not the most important one. We have Ukrainian English. It looks like you're going to get to hear Indian English, Australian English, British English. Right? There are many Englishes in the world. So long as we can understand each other, that's the only important thing. There is no one best English. And we have things like card games. And then today, at some point, we're going to be playing with some graphic organizers. So if these are things that look like they might be interesting to you, please feel free to explore them in the next couple of days. Okay, questions so far? Okay, we're getting some of our foundation structure stuff set. All right, so what's our goal? The goal of this workshop is for us to explore the theory, a little bit of theory, and a lot of practices of creating active learning environments in our camps. So as Kevin mentioned this morning, not sitting behind the desks, not taking tests, not memorizing things, just doing. So learning by doing, having fun, and learning by doing. We're going to look at the use of active learning. You've already been doing that. So the activity that you did this morning with the fish song with Kevin, that was a very good example of active learning. You're going to participate in learning activities. You're already doing that as well. You already started doing that. You're going to think of ways to incorporate active learning in your camps. You're going to be putting things in your mind, in your cameras, in your notes, in your notebooks, so that when you walk away at the end of the day tomorrow, as Luba said, you'll have a collection of ideas. Now the piece that I can't do for you is I can't decide what's best for your grade level. I also can't decide for you things like sequence. Which one do you start with? Which one do you go to? I also would encourage you to think in terms of some kind of overarching theme or topic for your camp. So many times when you go to camp, there's some kind of a theme. Maybe it's environment. Maybe it's having fun in the woods. Maybe it's sing-alongs. Maybe it's dinosaurs. Maybe it's space. Maybe it's health. I don't know what it is, but as you're thinking today, be thinking about how do all of these activities fit under some kind of cohesive umbrella. And that umbrella or that overarching theme is up to you. And it can be the same if you have more than one grade level. You can do the same one for all of the grade levels, or you can make them different, depending on your preference. Okay. Would you like to go on a bear hunt? Yeah? All right, let's do that. Let's go on a bear hunt. This is an example of a chant. How many of you already use chants maybe in your classrooms? Oh, we have a couple of people. All right. In the back, what's your favorite chant? What chant do you use?
Goat graph, or Three Bears and Goldilocks, or
okay.
What is chicken chicken or something.
Chicken Little?
Chicken Little.
Yeah, Chicken Little.
Yeah,
so
lots of them, kids love them really, and
yeah.
before them drama.
Okay, good. So the thing about chants is they involve drama. As Kevin's activity did this morning, it's kinesthetic. It involves your hands. It can involve moving around the classroom or just sitting at your desk or in a circle on the ground, wherever you may be. It typically involves some kind of movement. Somebody this morning also mentioned it's important because it's a song where it has a rhythm, and it's true that your brain remembers things differently when you sing them or chant them. So when I was in high school, I took a German class. My family's all from Germany originally. I don't remember very much German at all, but I can still sing the beer songs. So the song's stuck. So singing definitely gets encoded in your brain in a different way. So we're not going to sing this, we're going to chant it. Chanting has much of the same effect. Okay, do you prefer to sit down or stand up?
Stand down.
Stand up? Sit down. You can do either one. Do you notice I just gave you a choice? Did you notice that? Part of active learning is giving your students choices. It doesn't matter if you stand up or you sit down. The difference, the song, the chant is the same, but it allows you to have some choice and some independence. So if you want to stand up, you can stand up. If you want to sit down, you can stand down, sit down, sit, stand. All right. So the way this works is we're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing this. Good. All right. Looking good out there. I see some smiles too. All right. When we go fast, go faster. Oh, nice. Let's go slower. Okay, we're going to start out nice and slow, nice and easy. The way this works is, I say the first line, and it doesn't have to be me, it can be a student, it could be anybody in the classroom. I'll say it, and then you repeat, okay? We're going on a bear hunt.
Going on a bear hunt.
We're going to find the big one.
We're gonna find a big one.
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared.
What a beautiful day.
What a beautiful day.
Oh, look.
Oh, look.
It's some long, wavy grass.
It's some long, wavy grass.
Can't go over it.
And go over it.
Can't go under it.
And go under it.
Can't go around it.
And go around it.
Gotta go through it.
Gotta go through it.
All right, here we go. Good job. Oh, very good. job. So you need to do a little cleanup on that first preposition there. Take care of that. All right, are you ready for the next part? Yes. Keep going. We're going on a bear hunt.
We're going on a bear hunt.
We're going to find a big one.
We're gonna find a big one.
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared.
It's a beautiful day.
What a beautiful day.
Oh, look.
Oh, look.
It's a wide, wide river.
It's a wide, wide river.
Can't
Go over it and go over it.
Can't go under it.
And go under it.
Can't go around it.
And go around it.
Got to swim across.
Got to swim across. Splash, 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 splash.
Oh, good. We got to be getting close. All right, let's keep going. Going on a bear hunt.
Going on a bear hunt.
We're gonna find a big one.
We're gonna find a big one.
I'm not scared.
I'm not scared.
What a beautiful day.
What a beautiful day.
Oh, look.
Oh, look.
It's a deep, dark cave.
It's a deep, dark cave.
And
Go over it and go over it and go under it and go under it
and go around it.
and go around it.
Got to go in it.
Got to go in it.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
It's dark in here.
it's dark in here.
I feel something.
I feel something.
It has lots of hair.
Lots of hair.
It has sharp teeth.
It has sharp teeth.
It's a bear.
It's a bear.
Run! 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 All right, we're still running. We're still running. Back across the river.
Across the river.
Over the bridge.
Over the bridge.
Through the grass.
Through the grass.
Back at home.
Back at home.
Now lock the door.
Lock the door.
That was close.
That was close.
I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Okay, good job. You did a good job. I made a couple of mistakes. If I were to do that again, I would change one of the prepositions and a little bit on my timing. So you see, every time we do it, it's a little bit different. Okay. All right. Is that something you could do with your students? Yeah, sure. Sure you could. You could. Absolutely. These are really common. There's a lot of them out on the internet. As we go along, my PhD and my training, a lot of the work that I do is actually online and using technology. And although this is not a technology workshop, from time to time, I'll give you a little tech tip, okay? So one tech tip is, if you like this, there's a really beautiful website. It's surprisingly from the National Institute for Health. Let's see if I can get up here. There we go. The National Institute of Health, NIEHS, and it has this whole body of songs on it. One that I like a lot is called Alice the Camel. You know Alice the Camel?
No.
Are you interested in the internet kinds of resources? Is that something you could use? Okay, then let's take a little break just for a minute from this, and I want to take a second and show you what this looks like on the web. So this is the website. It's got lots and lots of songs on it. It's got hundreds of songs. They're in alphabetical order. And the thing I like most about them is that they play the music. They give you the lyrics and they play the music to go with it. I think I might have sound. We'll see. I'm going to blow this up. How many how many lumps does a camel have? How many humps?
2 or 1, depends.
Can have one.
Yeah.
Can it have more than one?
2.
Some of them have 2. Most of them don't have 5. But in this song, the camel starts with 5.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Special.
And the thing I like about the songs that are on here is, if you'd like to hear the words and see it being performed, if you go to YouTube and do a search, you can often find these kinds of songs.
Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps. So ride, Alice, ride.
Get the idea? It's really simple, right? Where's Kevin? He was going to play his ukulele with me. That's okay. We don't need Kevin. We can do this
Let's
without
call him.
So on this website, you can play the song, you can play the music, and we can sing along. And so I'm going to suggest that we just watch the lyrics up here, listen to it, and join in when you're ready to sing. In an English language classroom, we call this emergent learning. So what Kevin talked about was through repetition, rather than forcing students to learn the words, you just play it. And if it's very simple, you can model it, you can have them listen, and then when they're ready, they just join in. So we're going to practice that now. I'm not going to teach it to you per se. We're going to play it. It has lots of repetition. When you're ready, just join in with me. Okay? Okay. You're all good singers. I'm not. I heard you this morning. You can't sound any worse than I do. Okay. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Alice the camel has 5 humps. Ride, Alice, ride. Alice the camel has 4 humps. Alice the camel has 4 humps. Alice the camel has 4 humps. So ride, Alice, ride. Alice the camel has 3 humps. Alice the camel has 3 humps. Alice the camel has 3 humps. So ride, Alice, ride. Alice the camel has 2 humps. Alice the camel has 2 humps. Alice the camel has 2 humps. So ride, Alice, ride. Alice the camel has 1 hump. Alice the camel has 1 hump. Alice the camel has 1 hump. So ride, Alice, ride. Alice the camel has no humps. Alice the camel has no humps. Alice the camel has no humps. So Alice is a horse. So that one has a surprise in. This is really typical in the United States. When I was a kid, we went to camp all the time. In the summer, sometimes during the school year, there would be special camps, but no matter how old we were, singing was always part of it. And even when we got to be teenagers or older, we often went back and sang the songs from our childhood. And so we had very fond associations with these. So this is maybe your first year or your second year doing camps. The more you do them, the more fun your students have. They're going to talk about it to each other, and as they come back to your future camps, they're going to ask you for whatever your traditions turn out to be. I'm sure you'll have your own that you develop this year and over time. Okay, so now you understand, I hope, when I'm giving you a tech tip, that's what I mean by that. It'll be an activity that lets you go online, get something for free, maybe listen, maybe watch somebody else doing it. When I look for videos like the one that I just found for Alice the Camel, in my Google search box, I just put YouTube, and then I put the name of the song, Alice the Camel. Do you know why quotation marks? Why quotation marks?
No. The name of the song.
It is the name of the song. It's also a search technique. It forces Google to look for this song. If I take off the quotation marks, it looks for Alice and the word the and camel. But if I use the quotation marks, I get a much better result. It's much more efficient. I get Alice the Camel. Okay. All right. Questions so far? Are you having fun?
Yes.
Yeah, good. All right. Thank goodness our class doesn't look like this. No. And I'm very happy to see that. We're going to take 2 minutes in your group, and we're going to just describe what's wrong with this picture. This is a talking activity. So it's a talking activity. So in your group, take 1 or 2 minutes. What's wrong with this picture? Have your attention. That was Kevin's go signal. That was my start signal just now. Yeah. Actually, what I want to do is we've got a really large group. Normally, I only train with 20 to 25 people, and we have 50 beautiful teachers with us here today. We're going to be doing a lot of getting into groups and then needing to come back together. So we're going to use a little classroom management technique. So Kevin showed you one, the bell. That's a classroom management technique, right? He also did a really nice job, and I'm sure you noticed, but of setting you up for his activity. He talked about being safe, having everyone stand up, put their chairs in, so that kind of setup, that kind of step-by-step, he made it look really easy, but it takes some thinking about. So I want to be able to get quickly into groups and come back apart. One technique I see teachers use is to use lights, like they'll turn the lights on, and that means you're supposed to be quiet. Do you use signals like that in your classroom? Not so much? Okay. We use a lot of classroom management techniques in our classrooms and especially in our camps. And if you'd like to know more about those, during the break, there are some books here that talk more about management of messy, busy, loud kinds of activities. And that's what camp is, lots of messy, busy, loud activities. So the one I think we're going to use today is one I like because it uses both your hand and your mouth, and it goes like this. Whenever you hear or see me begin counting backwards, I'm going to put my hand up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your job is to stop what you're doing and use your hand and use your mouth and count down with me. Okay? So let's practice. 5, 4, 3, stop. I see some of you doing this. Some of you are doing this and not talking, you're just looking at me. It's like, nope, you have to be fully engaged because if you're not counting with me, you can be talking to your neighbor, right? Okay. All right, let's try it again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice, very nice. It only took us 2 tries to practice. And you notice I did practice. So when you want to introduce these kinds of management techniques with your students, you need to be very explicit about it and you need to practice with them. And then you hold them to it. Okay, good job. We had some great talking informally about what's wrong with this picture. What I want you to do next is put on your critical thinking skills hat. We're going to be talking a lot in camp about how we can use our active learning and our fun activities to also promote thinking in our students at the same time. Because we know that if you're singing, if you're active, if your brain is working hard while you're using and learning English, you're more likely to remember it. So what I want you to do is think about your conversation you had just now, and now separate what you see on the picture into facts versus hypotheses or guesses. I heard you mixing them, and this is a very common thing to do. When we look at a picture that's new to us or we don't understand, we automatically jump in, we assume that we know what's happening there. But in fact, if we think for a minute and we separate it, we can separate facts versus guesses. So again, back in your group, if you want to take one piece of paper, anybody's paper, it's just notes, and write down what are some facts about this picture and what are some guesses about what's wrong with it. Why is it that way?
Is that a good thing?
Facts versus your guesses.
Yeah.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. All right. Let's have some facts. Anybody have a fact about the picture they'd like to share? Use your teacher voice.
6 students. We say 6
students. We see students. 6. We see 6 students. And we're going to assume for now that they're students because I already said this was a classroom. So we see 6 students. Another fact.
They are bored.
They're asleep.
No, it's bored.
Yeah.
It's not a fact, it's a guess.
Okay, let's. They appear to be teenagers. Okay, they appear to be teenagers. We actually don't know if they're sleepy or bored. Sleepy and bored is a guess or hypothesis, right? That's a guess or a hypothesis. What we could say is their eyes are closed. They're leaning on their hands. right? Their heads are on the table. Those are all facts. But in fact, we don't know if they're sleepy or bored. That's more of a guess. It's a good guess. It's a good guess. Other facts.
There aren't any teachers or tutors in this classroom.
Yeah, we don't see the teacher. We don't see the teacher at all. Okay, very good. What else?
But it's guess.
You think it's summer? Okay, so we can say, do we know it's summer for sure? No, we haven't guessed it is summer. But we could say their clothes are short sleeves. They're wearing light clothing. If I live in Florida or Costa Rica, this could be winter. Right? So we don't know that it's summer. We actually don't know that, but we do see that they're wearing short clothing.
We don't have pictures.
Have a look at the window. The environment is
Okay, the window's closed. The window's closed. What about the desks? What do you notice about the desks?
no pens, pencils.
They're all in rows, very traditional, right? Everybody's in a row. It looks like they're ready to maybe guess, maybe take an exam or something. It looks very formal, very traditional. Okay. All right. Any other facts? Observable facts. Okay. How about guesses? What are some of your guesses?
Maybe they are acting out something that the teacher had told them to relax or to play, or to show how they might be bored, but they are not actually, and this is a type of technique.
Okay, so maybe they're bored, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just relaxed, or sleeping, or meditating. Okay. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they just went on a big run or a big field trip and they're just tired.
Maybe it's Friday, the last class on Friday.
Maybe it's Friday, maybe it's the last class, they're ready to go home.
Because it does who will sleep long. Maybe.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I've written a difficult test.
Maybe they just finished a difficult assignment or test. Do you see how you just expanded your thinking in doing that? So right away, when you had your first conversation, you jumped immediately to one or two sentences. You assumed you knew what was happening there, right? But when we take time to break it down into what do we actually see, what are the observable facts, and then what do we think might be happening there, then we open our minds to many, many more possibilities. And that's what we're trying to do today and tomorrow with the camp, is to open your mind to possibilities. And what you traditionally looked at in your class, oh, I never sing songs, I'm a terrible singer, right? I'm too shy, or whatever it may be, asking you to just open your mind and set that aside, and be thinking, continuing to think about new possibilities and ways. I know your camp is not going to look like this, but understanding what this is and how yours will be different, and forming a vision for that in your head is an important part of getting there. Okay, are you ready for lunch? Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you have an announcement?